Hello, everyone. This is the As Promised iRubric training or grading in iRubric training that we were going to do yesterday at the faculty meeting and ran out of time. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Let me share my screen. The very first thing I want to talk about is the PowerPoint that I sent, and it has some screenshots if anyone needs to go back in, and I will send this and attach it with this link. But has one thing that is probably more important than anything in this whole training about iRubric grading. And let's go ahead and jump in on that. Well, it's actually the second bullet, but let me go ahead and do the first important thing. Make sure, and I think everyone already has done this, but please make sure that you have your iRubric rubric uploaded in your Brightspace course. If you haven't done that, obviously we can't do any type of grading with iRubric. I believe we've done all of that with everyone's course that has a key assessment, but just in case you have a key assessment and we didn't put an iRubric rubric in there, just contact me, fire me an email, stop by my office, all works. Second thing, this is more important probably than anything else that I say in this whole short training video. Please make sure your students click the iRubric link in your Brightspace course. They have to be in there. That's the only way they can get into iRubric. So they have to do that. If they don't do that, you cannot grade in iRubric. You cannot give them a score in iRubric. And of course, we need that data. And I will say this, the reason why it's important, if they click that, we can pretty much make anything work. And what I mean by that, and I'll show you an example here in a moment, but if they click the iRubric link and have problems submitting or attaching a Word document or a PDF or something like that, that's okay. We can actually go in and click their name and still score the rubric as long as you have a copy of it. They could give you a hard copy and you could read it and you could score the rubric in iRubric and we would have the data. That's why it's so important. Now, granted, ideally, they will attach the actual document or item being assessed in iRubric and you can just create it that way. But if push comes to shove, you definitely can like score it with the document beside you, or they can email it to you, they can submit it on Brightspace, but they have to have clicked that link in Brightspace for iRubric. Also, I wanted to make the point, iRubric is actually linked to our Brightspace gradebook, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. Now, let me just rehash that because I think I bumbled that a little bit. One, iRubric needs to be loaded into your Brightspace course. That's for anyone that has a key assessment in their course. I think we've not already done all that back in August and September. Next thing, you have to have your students click the iRubric link in your class in order for their assignment to be assessed in iRubric. Probably the most important thing said in this entire video. And again, if you have that, you can grade hard copies, you can grade it by email, you can grade it by Brightspace, you can grade it in iRubric, but they have to have had clicked that link. Next, just in case you're worried, iRubric is linked to the Brightspace gradebook. Now, with that being said, let me do some screenshots here for you. And this is what I was talking about. And don't worry, there's no big pink, green, or blue spots on your iRubric. That's just me covering up student names because we're doing a video. As you can see, except for this guy, he's a pretty good student, I heard. As you can see here, there's a lot on the side here, and you can still see in terms of colors, red, green, circles, squares, check marks, all that. It's actually pretty self-explanatory, I think, or pretty simplistic. Once you kind of just, you recognize it. One, if you see a red dot, that means that nothing has been submitted in iRubric. But here's the positive, and I kind of said this. As long as their name's over here, as long as they get it to you, you can still click their names and grade it. If you see a paper and a circle, like my name there has a circle, a red circle, and a paper behind it, it means that I submitted something, but it just hasn't been graded. It means that I, the professor or the instructor, needs to grade that assignment, but there is something there to grade. This, nothing to grade. This, something to grade, at least in iRubric. Green check mark if you notice, this student down here has a green check mark. The reason why, originally they had this. I emailed that student, and that student said, I can't figure out how to attach it. We were piloting it. So I was kind of glad the situation happened. Not for their stress, but just for the trial. The student actually emailed me the paper, and I was able to pull up the rubric, and I'll show you how we do that here in a moment. I was able to pull up the rubric, grade the assignment in there, and they have a check mark because it means nothing was submitted, but it was graded. And that means we have the data. I believe that as an instructor, I have the option to attach the document in my comments. I'll double check that, but you can have it in there if you need it, but you can score it at least. This one, I'll go over these two here in a few minutes, but basically that means that there's nothing else to grade with that. And that means that you graded it or reviewed it and submitted a score. And as you see, there's a paper behind it. So it means they submitted something. This is just a straightforward, just kind of reminder. Again, students have to click the IRubric link in order to be in the class to be graded in IRubric. And as you see, it says, ask students to open this assignment to Desire to Learn. Desire to Learn is just Brightspace. So ask students to open this assignment in Desire to Learn, i.e. click IRubric and access IRubric. That link will link IRubric to each student's grade. That's how they get in. It's the way that they're enrolled in it. That's as simple as that. And that's actually on the IRubric page too. In case you're wondering, that's what a rubric looks like. I'm going to pull one up on a class where I only have myself in the IRubric right now. But that's what the rubrics do. And you just simply click on the score that you want. There's also quick feedback boxes, and it's very much like the STOT. It has the quick feedback boxes, and at the very bottom, there's a big comment section. And as you see, this is actually from one of my current classes. There's all red dots, which means nothing has been submitted. But because they have clicked on the link, I can click their names and still score their stuff when they, for some reason, have some sort of disaster. So we can score it because they clicked the link. This is the grade book. I just wanted you to see this. Often in the grade book, I believe it's just because it's the way we add it. It's going to show up as IRubric 1.3, and that's the linking of it. But as you can see, these are the scores that I gave in the summer. I put that in there because that you can still operate in Brightspace and alter these grades if you need to. And I had someone who I gave an exemption for to turn it in a few days late. So, and this, I just wanted you to see that you can still change in Brightspace, but these scores are actually linked. So whatever you put in IRubric, they do download into the Brightspace gradebook. So, and again, the student names, but there you go. So that is actually it. It's very simple. It is literally the students clicking the link and you clicking the student's name to grade. But just in case you're dying to see what that looks like, now let's see how slick I am, because I thought I pulled up. Yes, I did. Sorry, yes. I thought I had a class pulled up. This is my 585 class. I will tell you, for my online classes, I've already had my students click the link just to have them in it. They haven't submitted anything yet. That would be my 380 class. For my live classes that have key assessments, I have not had them actually click IRubric yet. We're going to just do that one night in class. I just think it's just going to be easier to have everyone do it, so I know they've done it. But to access IRubric, all the students need to do is click content. If you look here, I think we put something similar in pretty much every class. It says key assessment or submit unit playing key assessment here. If I click that, I'm going to go to that page. You can, by the way, I know it says IRubric 1.3. You can retitle that. That's fine. But when the students click there, or I'm sorry, when you click there to grade, you'll see all the students who have clicked will show up here. The only student that has clicked in this class is Jason Allen. So you're probably saying, as you can see, I've used this as a test site before, but just to show you 2 or 3 things. One, if you look here, not graded, no submissions. We mentioned that. That's that. Not graded, new submissions. Awesome. So that means I didn't have stuff to grade. Graded, no submissions. So I've been testing this, but I actually graded mine without any submissions. I submitted a hard copy to the professor. graded new submissions. Maybe you graded it and you're allowing the students to attach something else to it, or maybe they need to redo some stuff, and then graded all submissions reviewed. So you've got them all in and you've submitted it. So to actually grade, even though it's on the PowerPoint, I just wanted to kind of show you how it directly works. So when you have all your students' names out here, it says it right there, click on a student to grade. That's all you need to do. I'm going to click on this great guy. And as you can see, I have went through, he got all 4s. It was wonderful. But just to kind of show you, all you need to do to grade is click. That's it. And you see, boom, or click there, boom, or click there, boom, click there, boom. I can comment. Good job. Hopefully you put more comments than that, but you get the point. Let's make sure we give this guy what he actually deserves. All 4s, fantastic. And you can make notes to yourself. You can save evaluation. You can save a draft if you think you're going to come back to it. And as you can see, when you go up here, here are the submissions. So you can put there, and actually you can load stuff there too. That's what I was saying. You can add documents in there if you need to, if you want to make sure that it's there. So everything that the students submit should be right here for you to click. And again, I don't know, maybe you want it emailed and you want to upload it yourself. That's fine. I would not recommend that. I'm not sure if that's how we want to operate, but there should be something there. But just rest assured, the clicking over here by the students or to get in here is the #1 thing. And then you just need to click their names and however you want to grade. It should be in there. I think that is it. I tried to keep this as short as possible. I think I did go over the promised 5 minutes. But if anyone does have any questions, just feel free to come, stop by, ask me. We're all still learning. Believe me, I'm still learning this. I fiddled around with it in the summer. I graded. It actually seemed to work fairly well. I kind of liked it after I got used to it. We're doing it on a much larger scale right now, so we'll see how it goes. And if there's any hiccups, I mean, please tell myself or Dory or whomever. I'm going to say that for Dory, but make sure that, you just say something and we can see what's going on. Rich, if he doesn't have the answers, he usually can refer us to someone at our campus that can actually answer the question. So they've been pretty good about getting answers and clarifying some things. So I'm babbling. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I'm going to stop my share and tell everyone happy grading in IRubric.